Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to May 10th, 3 days before the PulseChain 1-year anniversary. Who thought we'd still be below sacrifice? Not me. Not me, that's for sure. I've got St. Wolf with me today. He's a newer YouTuber. 3 months old, but dude, you look professional. We're talking about the mic arm. It's that gives you like 50 more respect points. And then you got the lighting in the background. Have you done a YouTube? Have you done a channel before?
No, I've never done a channel before, but I actually wanted to do a podcast. So I had done some research and I got some stuff, and then I just started making content like this because I'm like, well, I don't have anyone to podcast with right now, so I got some.
Yeah, there's a couple people in the community that might want to get you on a live stream and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what we're all doing is interconnected content creators within the PulseChain ecosystem, by the way. So if you're new here, that's what typically I think we both talk about. I mean, I'll check out your channel again, but it seems like you're pretty much talking about coins within the PulseChain ecosystem, right?
Yeah, that's where I started, and I haven't done anything outside PulseChain yet. Yeah.
So you've been doing this for what, 3 or 4 months now?
Yeah, consistently like 3 months, exactly. I made my first video a year ago, and then I made 2 videos, and they were kind of Hex related, Richard Hart related, and then I couldn't get my papers for Poland, where I was staying at the time. So I had to go through this big move and this huge process, and now I'm in Czech Republic, but I kind of got thrown for a loop. So I picked up again about 3 months ago.
Wow.
And,
That's cool. Czech Republic. Are you, where are you from originally?
Well, United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of a digital nomad, or?
I left in 2019 and started traveling. I just packed everything up. I sold everything I owned, sold 2 cars, everything in my apartment I could sell, and left. And then a few months later, the zombie apocalypse began. And
good timing.
I made
It's a good timing.
It was interesting timing. I did feel something kind of stirring, and I was very intuitive about it. I was like, something's not right. I genuinely felt, and actually I think I made an Instagram post. It was the last post I ever put on my Instagram, and it was right about that time. Like I felt a buzz, a very strange buzz. I felt this, I was like, just go. Can't really explain it now looking back, but yeah, I was traveling. I went to Latvia, Ukraine, I don't know, a bunch of countries. And then when I got the word, before lockdowns began, I made a beeline to Brazil. And I'm like, okay, I have a feeling this could get hairy. Where do I want to be? And I'm like, okay, I've been to Brazil before. It's beautiful, beaches. All right. And then I got there, and a week later, lockdowns began, and I was stuck in Florianopolis, beaches and palm trees, and
Yeah, it's not a bad place to be. How did they handle the whole lockdowns over there? Were they strict?
Yeah, they were really strict when it started. I was, I went to the beach. I remember going to the beach, lockdown began. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to skip the beach. It was like a Wednesday, and I'm at the beach. It was just me and this girl, and the beach was empty because everyone else was obeying the new lockdowns. And then all of a sudden, like a helicopter came out of nowhere and just like flew up to the beach, and they were yelling something in Portuguese, but it was obvious we needed to go immediately. So we like picked up in this like storm of sand that was like blasting us, and just like ran out of there. And so, yeah, they were taking it pretty seriously. They had the military out there.
My God. Yeah. I mean, that's what I heard. Like, I'm currently in Puerto Rico, and I heard they were pretty strict here too, but I wasn't there during that time. It's kind of ironic, like outdoors at the beach with wind and salt water and fresh air.
We thought it was the safest place to be.
I know.
Where should I be?
I'm sure a lot of people are like, in hindsight, feeling pretty silly about the way they acted, the way they handled it. Some people just went on a power trip, and just, people like to, tell other people what to do, and you kind of figured out who's who during that time.
It was 100% a power grab, 100%. But that's here nor there. But
yeah, we can get on that.
How'd you pick Puerto Rico? How'd you end up in Puerto Rico?
So I moved for the tax benefits. Honestly, it saves a lot of money on taxes. Yeah. It's 0% capital gains, but also, I mean, it just to get out of the Chicago winter. I mean, why not come to a beautiful island? And I've met a lot of crypto people that are already here, so a
Yeah.
lot of good networking and
Oh, cool.
good opportunities. Yeah, I met people like Brock Pierce the other day. Showed me a meme.
Really?
It's so funny. He comes up to me and told me about this token called Uranus on
Yeah.
Solana.
Bet
It's
you
like
he
a
did.
Solana meme, and the ticker symbol is anus. And I'm just
Uh-huh.
like, did a billionaire really just tell me about anus coin? And it's just funny what these people are up to.
Uh-huh. What kind of party was that?
Oh, that was just a crypto meetup. Every
No,
Monday,
it's
there's
just
like a crypto.
crypto
Yeah.
meetup.
But no, they do nerd out and they have some parties. Like they had a Bitcoin halvening party. It's actually
Okay.
kind of fun, right? It's like, but where
Huh.
else are you going to go that like there's enough people to celebrate something like baked into the code of a software protocol?
Man,
So
it's amazing. Yeah. No, I'm jealous. That's great. That's really
so
cool.
far so good, yeah. And I'm going
Yeah.
to be switching back and forth, kind of like just hopping around from here to Chicago to wherever I feel like. But yeah, the goal is just to get residency here and all that.
Right.
So yeah,
That's
you've
cool.
been making all these videos I'm looking at right now about like PTGC and INC token and some of this stuff that I'm not too familiar with yet.
Really?
What's really caught your eye the most recently in PulseChain land?
So what caught my eye at first was a lot of when I first discovered Atropa and the 414.
Yeah,
And I was just like nervous about making PulseChain content because there's so many great creators that were doing stuff. And then I started just kind of getting like obsessively drawn to like these chats. And I don't remember, I saw this guy coexist in Steven's channel, and he talked
yeah.
about he was talking about some really metaphysical, like bridging things. And at first I was like, this guy's just crazy. This guy's just nuts. And I like changed the channel, and then I dug in a little bit more about some of the things he talked about. And then I went back and listened to his channel again like a week later, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's onto something. There is like this big universe forming. And so I dove deeper and deeper into all the 414, the chats, Atropa, PDI. And then I was like, okay, I'm already spending all my time here, ignoring friends, family, and let me just hit the record button. So I started making a lot of videos in the beginning about that world in the 414 IRL logs, or not IRC logs,
Yeah.
the chats, and started sharing that. And then from there, I just got comfortable then, with the camera and everything. And I was like, okay, let me start talking about some projects and stuff too. BFF was like my first thing that really, BFF, PDI. I think when I realized for me, because I'm one of those that got pretty convicted that, yeah, they're pegging this thing. They're going to
Really?
go for it. Yeah.
I'm not fully convinced, but I love like how powerful the narrative is, and I love how it could get to $1. Like it could. I'm just one of those guys that like it'll tap $1 maybe, but not stay there.
Yeah.
But
I heard your video.
I understand certain things have to happen, and you said Atropa, and also Atropa is very intertwined with PDI. You can't have one without the other. So it was awesome to see the Atropa developer, because I realized that his Atropa thing is entirely based on the premise of PDI pegging.
It is. Well,
that's what he said, at least.
Yeah, and look, the reason is if you have a decentralized chain, and PulseChain is more than a new layer one, okay? And it's because to create a universe that runs, that you can really call decentralized, you have to have a stable coin or stable coins. It's not up for debate. It's not an option. It's kind of a necessity, okay? Otherwise, your whole system can be turned off by your weak links, which would be your stables, your money markets, etc. So they have to build things from the real world that hold our economic system together. They have to build it under PulseChain. So PulseChain is not just a layer one. It's going to run on the rails of this whole economic beast underneath. And part of that has to be a stable coin.
Richard did mention that, he had plans for a stable coin. So Whether that's something new, I want to believe it so bad, but I'm also like aware of how much I want to believe it. It's funny you mentioned coexistence, Steven. Shout out to you, Steven, out there, because I had the same reaction when I first saw his channel. I was like, oh, this guy's he's just falling for the conspiracy theory. But then it stuck around, and the longer it stuck around, the more I was like, okay. And then when I saw the guy's actual face, I'm like, okay, he's not like hiding, and he's actually kind of smart. Like, he's not. I don't know if he's like a super genius, like because there's facts, and then there's people that just make up stuff. Like someone was like, oh, Richard is friends with Maria, and it's like, and they referenced some time where Richard talked about his rocket scientist friend, but that wasn't Maria that they were talking about. So it's like it kind of discredited that theory a little bit. But there's so many positive things like going in the right direction. I think he wants to get he wants to make his ecosystem sticky for a lot of people. And there's all these other coins tied, Teddy Bear, TSFI, all these ones with like weird characters and like Monot money and all this stuff.
Yeah.
What do you make of all this? And I'm actually having Steven on my channel, by the way. So shout out, Steven. Sorry for doubting you.
I think there's a lot of things that we don't fully understand in terms of how they relate to crypto. But if you look at the financial markets, there are so many products and things that underpin a lot of the things we use that we don't think about. And I think they're recreating a lot of those because you absolutely need it. Because without this web, one thing, a bear market, shutting down of some vital aspect could crash a whole system, and then you don't have a decentralized, financial market. You just got a pile of a disaster on your hands, So how everything's going to connect together, I don't fully, I don't know the details of how every element is going to plug in to what they're doing, but I'm starting to understand how you need these things to be going up in value and down to balance other things that are going up and down. You've
got the Atropa.
You need velocity. You need velocity of money. Okay, so it needs to keep moving a lot, just like in our real world, no matter what. So some of these things you can get into and trade, but you need to understand how they're moving and why they're moving the way they are, because they're not necessarily pumping with the market. They're going to move maybe in against it or what have you.
Yeah, the main thing with Atropa, the Atropa coin is its primary liquidity bond was to PDAI, where 3 billion PDAI were paired to Atropa and then burned. So that was interesting because it took a lot of the PDAI out of supply, and it also kind of just locked that ratio in. So the higher PDAI goes, like the more value that's going to give to Atropa. And it's like almost instead of everything being connected to PLS as the unit of account, it's Atropa in that little ecosystem. Atropa actually is a word for a flower. So I wonder if like the flower is like, if it was supposed to be like, visually a flower of liquidity when you look at it on like a map.
Maybe, yeah. And you're right. It could be that Pulse isn't the main thing. It's going to be on the rails of this Atropa system underneath it. And it's really massive. It's really massive. It's hard to wrap your head around. The more you get in it, the more it like really flips you over. But one thing, if I could impress upon anyone listening, is PulseChain is more than a layer one by a lot. When this thing sprouts, you're not going to understand. It's a paradigm shift in crypto. Not only, and I don't mean to get too into this, but like,
no, let's get into it because I want to learn. I literally feel like there's so much going on in this ecosystem that
there's a lot. Yeah.
Everyone's like, look at this thing over here, and like you got PTGC and you got Atropa, and then you got 9mm just launched, which is super exciting, right? But there's all these contraptions that have liquidity bonding, and then this tax token goes to feed this liquidity pool, but then part of the tax goes to these stakers of this other coin, and it's like, it makes my head spin because I'm pretty like I'm trying to promote the core, I guess you could say the blue chips to new people as much as I can, but there's so much else to discover underneath PulseChain that makes it so sticky for all the new people to discover these opportunities? So yeah, if I can understand more from whatever you know, let's go there.
Okay. So it's a paradigm shift in digital financial products, okay? Not just crypto, not just financial markets. It's a paradigm shift, okay? What I believe that the Heartman and the developer, Atropa developer, are doing is re-replicating the whole entire crypto market in PulseChain and the financial markets that the crypto market we see now run on top of.
So does Hex still play in as the digital CD, or like, what do you mean by the financial system?
So the crypto markets run on top of our financial system. They're not separate from it, okay, because of liquidity, stable coins. Stable coins are also bonded to, I think, gold, dollars, whatever, or whatever they're selling to get the value,
Sure.
To back it, right? Tether, whatever they're doing, right? So and then obviously we don't see a situation yet where crypto is pumping and the real world markets are dumping, right? So they're connected, okay? And they're running on top. And part of that is movement of liquidity and movements of wealth. Really, it's velocity of value, okay? So in order to create a decentralized system, I have to replicate the crypto market because it's come to an interesting, it's evolved in its complexity with all its things running, right? So smart contracts, BTC being, the main thing. We wait for that to go, everything goes around it, et cetera. So you have to rebuild that, okay? And I don't know what element is exactly where the separation happens or where the line is, but first you have to replicate the whole entire crypto market, okay? Does that make sense so far?
Well, yeah, I mean, like it's almost like every network, Ethereum, Bitcoin, PulseChain, they all use the primary gas token as their native unit of account almost. Like when people are trading PLS and they're trading like a meme coin, for example, typically they'd want to end up with more PLS and tie primary liquidity with PLS. So it's a microcosm, I think, of the entire financial system. But then you've got, lending protocols and all this stuff.
Yes, but we can't bring over just that simple theory that we've done in crypto for the last 15 years into this, okay? Because they're mirroring the whole entire market, okay? That's why the Heartman's obsession with Aave and money markets and all these things. We're not going to just be PulseChain and then running using crypto. We're going to replicate everything that's already in crypto is going to be in PulseChain. And PulseChain is going to be one element of it, which will be like the Ethereum of it, right? Obviously. So, and then below that, they're going to replicate the financial markets. And these would be, imagine like all your Wall Street trading firms that are trying to accelerate value growth during bull times and during drawdowns. They're trying to reduce exposure, okay? And that's what these fund managers are doing, right? On Wall Street, right? Sure. So they're going to use our bots and different movements between all these protocols to replicate what's happening. This is what I believe, okay? And you can see some of the devs on PulseChain are picking up on that now, whether that be, the Sunnies, PulsePup or Steady Pup, and the different people, they're creating these arbitrations, to do that. You can see how PTGC moved quickly on the way up, but it reduced exposure on the way down. They're doing this in Atropa in a massive way, and I think a lot of these products or financial things they're creating are simulating different aspects of financial markets in the real world, okay?
Yeah, I guess I'm still a little bit lost because what else besides Atropa, PDI, Teddy Bear, like what are the coins that are interesting to look at, like that are tied to Atropa that simulate this stuff?
So yeah, for us right now, I would say the plays are still looking at this from our old school vantage point of pure crypto. It's like Teddy Bear, love Teddy Bear, great meme. PDI, if you think it's going to happen, even if you don't. I remember you said in one of your videos, you're like, well, I'm still along for the ride because the narrative is strong enough to move it, which it is. So you've got that. You've got Atropa itself. You know, I don't know if you need to speculate and trickle down into that whole world as they're building it, unless you really have a really deep understanding of what's happening. But yeah, I mean, Teddy Bear, P-Dye, BFF, which is a really cool meme, one of the main ones.
Where would you say like the best place is to get more info on that particular neck of the woods?
If you want to learn about what's happening, I would say definitely like the Sonny's Pub. Get in there, start listening, start chatting, hearing what everyone's talking about. Get into the IRC chat, the 414.
Do you have a link
to
what is Sonny's Pub? Is that a Telegram channel?
That's a Telegram, yeah. And Sonny is a developer for the rewarder system. Are you familiar with the rewarder system?
No.
So there's products. Let's say there's one called Die R. You hold it, it rewards you in Die. And I think there's one called there's one for Pulse. There's one for PulseX. There's one for Hex. I think a lot of them end in R. And
I've seen these tickers. Yeah, I've seen those. I had no idea what they were, but yeah.
Yeah, so you hold it, you earn its reflection token. So he runs Sonny's Pub, and that's on Telegram. And let me see.
I just joined it, guys. For the record, it's Sonny's, Sunnys Pub. And
I forgot I can type in this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to comment it in the chat. But guys, there's so many sub communities and Telegram groups, and they're all starting to take shape and emerge in PulseChain right now. It's very interesting. So what we're talking about is just one neighborhood in the nation of PulseChain. It's like one city.
Yes, there's and also if you see the IRC, some of you guys probably know that one, right? The IRC 414, Atropa logged. So it's called the IRC 414 on Telegram. I don't even remember how I got in that one. IRC 414. You literally have to validate it. And also, you need to be looking at liquidity maps. And some of the stuff I'm saying is not, I don't know. Like, I don't, this is stuff that I'm speculating. Just to be clear about that. This isn't any, it's not financial advice. This is what I've speculated by spending a lot of time looking at all these liquidity maps. So liquidity maps, you're going to find those mostly on Twitter. So if you go to Twitter and you type in, let's say, Atropa, if you type in Pulse Pup, PLSPUP, if you type BFF, you're going to find liquidity maps. And spend some time and look at them and ask yourself, what the fuck's going on? And let your brain wander. And when you combine what you see in the liquidity maps with what I was seeing in the Atropa chat, the 414, and what I was seeing and listening to Coexistent Steven, because he had some great talks with a lot of developers that I remember seeing early on, I started putting together what they were doing. That I'm speculating this is what they're doing. They're replicating the whole entire crypto market on PulseChain. The way it moves, the way it works, and they're situating on top of a financial market that replicates our own financial markets, and they're building it. And yes, they're that crazy, and I think this is what's happening.
Yeah, maybe I need some analogies, right? Because when we say it's replicating the crypto markets, there's a lot of aspects of the crypto markets.
Yeah.
You've got TSFI, for example.
Okay.
No one knows what it means, right? T-share finance, maybe, I don't know. But what is that replicating?
I don't know TSFI. I hold TSFI. And I don't know exactly how that one's going to come into play. But, just the name gives you an idea that they might have some maybe that connects to Hex in some way or something like that, right?
Perhaps.
And I have some of those in small amounts. Like I have TSFI, I have Down, Legal, if you go down the Atropa thing. But my main holdings are still obviously my core, some projects I've talked about in my videos, and then of course Teddy Bear, P-Dye, BFF.
Yeah, PDI is it's kind of its own thing, but it's linked into Atropa via liquidity, and a giant chunk of it has been burned. So that's just stuck there, not going anywhere. I think PTGC is another whole ecosystem. Coach K and the founder of that coin. I saw you made a video about that.
PTGC, yes.
Yeah, are you pretty invested in that ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, I have a good bullet in there.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that was how well it outperformed versus PLS, more so than almost any other coin. And of course, you can call it a meme coin, right? You can call anything a meme coin because it's got a whole bunch of utility tokens kind of feeding back into it.
It has a really cool utility. Yeah, I think it's cool. I like aliens, and I was drawn to it. Tokenomics are cool. I do think it has a meme quality. I think we'll have more alien sightings this year. I think something's going to go down, and there'll be people think there's going to be more dog runs. Maybe we'll have an alien run, actually. So
yeah, oh for sure. Dude, aliens are like a hot meme right now. Like,
are they all running right now?
I don't know, dude. Like, wait, there's basically like a UFO footage coming out every single day these days on the news and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like they're not even trying to hide it. And what do you think about that David Fravor guy?
Who's that?
Oh, he was the Air Force guy that exposed the actual UFO in the military.
Oh, right. I did see that video. He was like that old guy sitting in the chair, and he was showing all the photos he had taken.
Oh no, that's a different guy. But yeah, it's crazy how many of these NASA guys, like on their deathbed,
all of a sudden,
these CIA guys, they finally spill the beans, and it's just like, what do they know?
So are you asking, do I think it's legit?
Yeah, do you?
Here's the thing. I 100% believe that civilization on this planet has been around for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years. I don't know what iteration we're on right now, but we're on just one of the iterations.
I'm tempted to believe the more older than 6,000 years, right? I've listened to Graham Hancock. I've listened to the ancient archaeology. There's freaking a pyramid in Alaska allegedly that's like,
100%, man.
It's wild. I think, I don't know about millions, right? Because then you go back to like Neanderthal, Stone Age and stuff. But
if they've even tracked that correctly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we really don't even know what we don't know. But we find all these things all the time. Gobekli Tepe, which is like 9,000 years old. And
they think the pyramids were built 5,000 years ago. I mean, you can't believe a lot of this stuff, I do think the civilization goes back millions of years, okay? I mean, just the Egyptian chronology for the king's books goes back hundreds of thousands of years that they have documented, the Egyptians themselves, okay? So I do think it goes back millions of years. And there's been many iterations on this planet. And the alien life, first of all, they would be at the point where they're not sending their actual aliens. They're just drones or their own robots. I mean, hell, we're already at freaking robots and drones. So what do you think? They're flying themselves out to fucking Earth? No, they're sending their version of drones or robots or whatever. And then two, I think they're probably multidimensional. You know what I mean? And that's where you may get those ideas where people say, oh, there's a world inside the Earth. Maybe symbolically that's something happening where there's Earth is existing on many energy fields, which of course it is. And the aliens, they move around in that sense,
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at a two-dimensional world, right? A three-dimensional object passing through that would look like just a circle that just appears and then goes back away as the sphere passes through. So we are four-dimensional beings passing through a three-dimensional world because we're born, our atoms coalesce and take shape, and we defy entropy, and then we die and our atoms all get dispersed again. Nothing is created or destroyed. We just kind of like come together and then we dissipate. Yeah. So a five-dimensional being passing through four-dimensional time, I guess
would be bored.
But but we technically wouldn't we be those people too, to some degree? Because if we are just like passing through time and just temporarily taking this physical shape, in a 4-dimensional space, aren't we real? Isn't there some 5-dimensional aspect of the consciousness that created us?
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. It could go up in multiple dimensions. And the truth is, a being that would come into this dimension with having an understanding of other dimensions would be like us going to 2D. There would be a purpose. It would be quite boring and uninteresting. We're quite arrogant to think aliens themselves are coming to our dimension to hang out or do whatever. They're certainly sending their drones because we'd be boring at 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions. If they're existing on 5, 6, or 7 dimensions, it's just of very little interest to them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, I'm pretty sold. Like, it reminds me of
They come here for food.
The poster "I Want to Believe," but I really do, because you look at all these ancient cultures and they've all got a flood myth. You look at like these crazy underground tunnel systems in Turkey. Dude, Turkey's got some of the craziest ancient archaeology because it's actually preserved. It's not underwater and stuff like that. But there's tunnels that can literally house tens of thousands of people. And a lot of people are speculating, well, this could have saved them from a magnetic pole shift where there's like, weeks and months worth of lightning raining down from the sky, or a solar flare, or a giant tsunami, maybe, if they're lucky enough to be up that high in the mountains. Maybe a small group of civilization did survive from a previous golden age, right? That was actually able. And just going down the pyramid rabbit hole, it's like, people say, oh yeah, they figured out how to build the pyramids. It was all just for a tomb and for a king. And it's like, we'd have a hard time building those today. We'd have a really hard time to eat. Like, nobody even wants to spend that much time and energy today. Like, why would they do that back then when all they had was apparently copper chisels, right?
No, they were definitely built for purpose, and they were definitely built by someone who had an understanding of aerial travel.
Yeah, there's way too many geometric coincidences too. Like the fact that it's 140, 1 over 432 of the circumference of the Earth, or rather the diameter of the Earth, right? Which is also like the some kind of a frequency thing, 432 hertz. They're obviously aligned to the constellations. The Sphinx is pointing to where the constellation of Leo would have been when the precession of the Earth was like 13,000 years ago. The Younger Dryas period happened around that time. So it's like all these things kind of line up. There's an aquifer underneath the pyramid that Nikola Tesla literally tried to simulate to make his Wardenclyffe Tower using the same technology. So yeah, if we're getting woo-woo conspiracy, it was probably an energy device of some kind. Shaka Vibes, thank you for the tip. It's talking about some other coins. Yeah, I did an interview on Coach K's channel with PTGC. I don't know about TG Zen though. I'm not really down the Zen ecosystem. I gave up on that a long time ago. I don't know. Do you care about Zen anymore?
I never cared about Zen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I disappoint all the Zenians.
Yeah.
I wasn't into that. I have a pretty good intuition, and I didn't like that from day one. But if it does well, hey, great. I don't bash anybody. There's just things I'm interested in that catch my eye, and I usually go pretty crazy deep, like when I discovered Atropa and what have you. And I trust those threads, But when I saw the Zine, or the Jack Levin, I believe his name, I just immediately was like, yeah, I'm not curious here at all.
He just kept making so much new stuff, and I was just like, how do you expect the actual coin to ever go up, right? Like, it seemed like it just had to, I don't know. And look, no shade on Zen guys. I hope it works out, but I just don't follow it,
Yeah, this was a tough time because I also didn't understand. I was quite new to all this stuff, and it was about 2022. I think that's when Zen came out, and I think I had seen a lot of OGs and Hex, or people that, when I first came on, were very prominent in 2021 or whatever. And in 2022, Twitter turned in, or 2023 maybe, the beginning, Twitter turned into like a bash fest against Hex and Richard Hart. And there was a lot of people bashing Hex and Richard Hart. And a lot of people,
dude, that's been happening nonstop.
That's been happening. But it was like this phase where it was concentrated. And I remember I remember there was when I first saw Hex in 2020, 2021, it was this guy with these dreadlocks. I don't remember his name, but he was with the back in 2018. He'd been a big promoter in a project that rug pull.
Which one? Which guy? Are we talking about Trayvon?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I remember not buying Hex because I saw him and I was like, oh, that's the guy that promoted that big scam in 2018.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about because he promoted Big Connect. Yeah.
Big Connect. Okay. So then I ignored. I was like, oh, heck, this guy's promoting Hex now. I don't know what this is. So I ignored that for a while. And then I finally came around and saw other people who I respected. And then I remember around 2022, 2023, this Bash Fest started and he came out with this big thing raging against Richard Hart because obviously things had been delayed. People had sacked a long time ago. People were waiting forever. And I was like, man, this is messed up. Like everyone's like turning. And then the Jack Levin kind of came out around then too. It was like, oh, I'm making this project. And then all those people that I saw promoting Hex in 2021, 2022 started promoting this Zen thing. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like how do you, it doesn't make sense because I think Richard Hart's in a league of his own. You know what I mean? And
yeah. It was like,
nobody's perfect.
We're going to fix Hex. But I'm like, this is not, I've seen projects like it come and go before, you know?
Yeah, people are going to come and go. Richard Hart is in a league of his own. And I don't know every project, whether it's going to do great or not, but I bet on the man, you know what I mean? And he has an incredible sense of the market, his incredible level of intelligence, and a way to size people up, and just a lot of skills that can make you very successful. And I think he is very successful. And for people to just start doubting was very strange. And I think that's when I made my first two videos, which were kind of just like pro, like Hex Richard Hart. And then, you know, I got turned around and had to move town. But that's why I started, because I was like, yo, this is weird. Someone's got to make, like, you know, yeah, it was like, it was a very strange time. And so I don't know where Zen is in the chart, if it's doing well, but I don't know why somebody would back that person over this you know, Richard Hart, who I think is about to really make a name for himself in a big way with what they're creating in PulseChain. When people really realize what's going on, I don't think people really realize how massive PulseChain is going to be. I'm going to say that. I'm
with you on that. Like, totally agree. I mean, it's an open playground. It's a, what do you call it? A blue ocean opportunity for all developers to build really, really serious cool stuff. I mean, whatever narrative you like. I mean, whether it's DeFi, liquidity, bonding, crazy stuff. Hopefully we get some AI coins, real world assets, gaming. It's going to be a playground that's Ethereum, but it's actually usable. Benjamin369 commented, he said, do you know that Tetra has an on and off ramp partnership? No, that's amazing to hear. Hopefully it's an on and off ramp for PLS. Have you heard?
I've just started checking out Tetra and it looks really cool. I'm just starting to learn about it. And this on and off ramp is probably one of the most important things we need right now. And I absolutely want to know about that, because someone who's traveling and having banking issues, this and that, I mean, this would solve half my issues.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you right now. I mean, behind the scenes, what I'm personally working on is a lot more of those on-ramp partnerships. MEXC is in progress right now to get PulseChain listed on a centralized exchange, but that's not available in the USA. And it can be used as an on and off ramp, but it's also just a legitimacy thing of, hey, we need, like, let's just have at least one like upper tier centralized exchange. But on top of that, we're reaching out to all kinds of
we don't need a centralized exchange. We don't need it.
We don't really need one. It's nice to have, because that's currently the reason a lot of people, they look up CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and like they use that as an excuse to not take us seriously.
Oh, you think so?
Well, you know, that's the reason that we've been quoted before for CoinMarketCap not listing our rank correctly. They're like, well, you don't have enough centralized exchange listings. And it's like,
really?
Well, doesn't the on-chain data actually speak more? Like, it's more verifiable data that we have, you know, on Dex liquidity, but
right,
they're moving the goalpost, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they move the goalpost again, but we'll play the game a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it's a total game changer, but that's just one thing. We're also working with Paybis and Unlimit.com and all these, some of these other like Transact and all this stuff. We're just trying to get these reach out to these guys and get on-ramp integrations. So stuff to look forward to, guys, for sure.
A lot of stuff to look forward to. It does feel like the early days of Bitcoin, like 2009 to 2013, when it was not easy to get Bitcoin, but that was the time you probably wanted to get Bitcoin.
Exactly.
And I think we should embrace that we're here right now. That sometimes you don't know when you're making history and you don't know when you're in it. Anyone who's holding Pulse right now or is in this ecosystem, you're in the making of history right now. I really believe a big fundamental change is going to happen with PulseChain, and when people start to understand even a fraction of what the Atropa, what this emulation of financial markets is that's happening, you're going to be like, wow, I was part of that. And you're going to get to tell stories how in the early days there was no centralized exchange and we had a bridge and we had to do this, and
it's only going to get better, right? It's not getting worse.
It's only going to get better.
It's not like the builders are going away. Yeah, it can't get. I've said that it can't get worse before, and then the price dropped.
Why? Why did you say that?
That's on me, guys. I'm sorry for.
It's on him.
No. I feel the same exact way. It's what Ethereum was supposed to be. That it's not pricing out new users. It's a more fair ecosystem, and you don't have to sacrifice all the security for like a layer 2 would be. What layer 2s are just kind of like temporary homes for complex individual DeFi protocols. And it's just like, I don't see a lot of innovation even happening on the layer 2s. It's just like people trading super fast and all that stuff. So, but you also have a single node operator that can shut down and censor people and all that. So this is the best scaling solution that we have for Ethereum itself.
Yeah.
Horizontal scaling, right? That's what it's called. So everyone thought layer 2s were the way to go. I think it's just going to be a web of interconnected layer 1s. Maybe it's going to be Ethereum, PulseChain, Binance Smart Chain, I don't know, Solana, whatever the top 4 or 5 are. But it's that's what the world's going to look like, I think. Does PulseChain have any GambleFi projects? Yes, we do. We've got PulsePot.io just came out with a pretty awesome GambleFi project. For sports betting too. People don't realize sports betting is a $200 billion market, and you can now do sports betting decentralized on PulseChain. So shout out to PulsePot.io.
I was really curious about that. I had been watching it, and it's running right now, right?
Yeah, it just launched like 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay, what's the ticker?
PLSP, I think.
Oh, PLSP, right. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened here. 2.9.
Looks like they're using the Fetch Oracle. It's very simple. It's just decentralized betting, right? You don't even have to connect your wallet if you don't want to. You could just send the coins. Like don't waste all your whole life savings gambling, obviously. No. But we know people love doing that.
It's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, people already love it. It's a huge market.
If you're in crypto, you're a gambler, man. Come on.
You're an educated gambler.
You're an educated gambler. We're all gambling our futures away.
Pretty much. But look at all this stuff. I mean, so wait, PulsePod.io is not the same as the newer. There's something newer.
Something newer? Oh,
guys, drop it in the chat. Are we looking at the wrong
one? The one I'm looking at came out in January, PLSP.
That's definitely been running out for a while, but there is a new sports betting and like an up down where you can bet on the price. Like you can bet on the price of what a coin is going to be in the next hour or the next 24 hours.
That's awesome. That's great.
God damn it. What is it called?
It. Simple, clean, good betting.
Here, let's see. Oh, PulsePredict.io. It's a prediction market. So not only can you bet on the price of the coins, but you can also bet on the on sports, on big sporting events.
That would be awesome. See, we need all this stuff. This is good.
Yeah, there's
what's
a
the ticker
coming
for?
Up. For that one, let me see.
Yeah. Chat. Put these in the chat for us.
Yeah, help us out, guys.
Yeah.
Let me see. But here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize about this prediction thing is that what if you just bet on the price going up on a low liquidity coin?
Yeah.
You buy the price up yourself. You win the bet. You pump the coin. Look, guys, I'm not saying,
Well,
but
it's part of the game. That's part of it. Happens in the real world. It's going to happen. It's going to happen here, but you'll see it on the chain. Of course, people will see, oh, big bets came in this way, and you'll see the spread. Oh, there's all these.
Yeah, exactly. I'll drop the 2 links for the GambleFi projects in the chat here: PulsePredict.io and PulsePod.io.
Predict. Okay. Thank you, Zenith.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's just so much to keep track of, right? It's like, man, I every day there's a new project coming out. Every day there's a new contraption. There's one that caught my eye called Gifford, GIF token. I don't know if you got to look at that yet.
No.
Dude, the chart on it is insane because it just keeps going up because people keep arbitraging it back with PGIF. There's this contraption where you mint PGIF using your GIF. I don't know if it's obviously it relies on demand coming in, just like any other coin relies on demand. But they're going to keep making all these new projects on top of PGIF that feed back into buy and burn pressure for PGIF.
PGIF.
Yeah, PGIFF. And I think their iBurn project is launching today. So quick shout out to that. Basically you take your ICOSA and you can burn it. You can burn it for iBurn. But you have to, in order to mint iBurn, you put up 1 ICOSA plus 1,500 PLS. The PLS is used to buy up the price to buy and burn iBurn, and then you get iBurn, but you're also like pumping it as you're minting it.
Okay.
So basically, like, as people mint their iBurn, the price goes up and up because of all the pulse they're using to buy and burn it. But if people want to arbitrage it back down to ICOSA, they can do that. If people sell a whole bunch of ICOSA because they're going to liquidity bond iBurn with ICOSA, and there should be theoretically some ideal ratio. Like 1 iBurn should theoretically always equal 1 ICOSA plus 1,500 PLS. And I know that sounds like probably crazy talk right now, but look into it. There's a flow chart.
The tsharedata.com?
tsharedata.com? I don't know about that.
What?
Hold on.
Where'd I end up? Okay. I'll just blame it on chat.
Yeah, it's always chat's fault.
You guys, it's your fault. Help us out, guys.
If everybody has an iBurn link, otherwise just go to the Telegram channel. It's Gifford Ware.
Yeah. That's where I was. Yeah, Gifford Ware.
Okay. So yeah, that's the right one. And then if you look at the pinned messages, there's a workflow diagram, and it should show you the iBurn, like the diagram of how it works.
So is this the kind of thing? Is this what you're getting into right now?
This is launching today, and I think I'm gonna like mint a whole bunch using the ICOSA that I have, because I've just got a ICOSA that's been sitting there staked. But this might, I mean, if this does what PGIF did, I have no idea. I have no idea if it will. It's not a guarantee, but like, there's a better shot of this going up, I think, than just sitting there making me a little bit more ICOSA every day.
Yeah, I mean, look, PGIF is up from the lows 800%. They had an 8x.
Oh, that's only PGIF. Look at regular GIF.
The regular GIF.
Look at yeah. I know, dude. It's like it sounds crazy. We sound like a bunch of schizos, but the regular GIF chart I think went up. It just did a huge hockey stick.
Oh. See,
and it's been out for like over a month now, but just in the last week it went up 8x. It's up about 30x. Maybe it's up about 70x actually from the beginning.
Yeah, in a week it's done a 9x, 900% in a week.
So yeah, and minting iBurn is going to feed back to buy and burn pressure for PGIF, and it's this crazy Rube Goldberg machine. They didn't like when I called it a Rube Goldberg machine, but that's a crazy
what some of these
contraption.
are. They are, but if it works, it works. And it's for really smart people.
People that like complexity, for sure.
But it's cool, man. Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there? I didn't even know about this. Oh, really quick. So in your Twitter message, I was like, you messaged me, and because I took the day off, and then I took half the next day off because I was out the night before, and then I woke up to my Twitter and I'm like, what's going on? And then you messaged, and then we talked for a minute about doing the chat, and I was like, oh, it was my birthday, so that really surprised me. And then you said same here.
Oh no, it's not. No, we don't have the same birthday. I think I said same here as in like, you said looking forward to it.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
I was like, oh, he's got the same birthday. What?
That'd be too crazy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Are you a May birthday?
No, I'm a summer birthday though. I don't want to give it away. August.
That's too bad.
I'm a Leo.
That's too bad.
How about that?
Oh, that's terrible.
Like I pity you.
I thought we were going to become friends.
What are you? What is it? What is this zodiac sign that you're currently?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh yeah.
No, actually, I think Leos are good. Actually, a good friend of mine was a Leo.
Yeah.
They're
a bull and a lion. It's, some badass animals there. There you go.
Some badass animals.
Crypto
Ooh,
Khalil.
Leo. Oh, Crypto Khalil has a thing for you.
It's like every girl when you ask them like what's your sign, and they're like, I'm a whatever. You're like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna work out. Like I'm a Leo, shit. Like, what do you mean? Just I don't know. I'm making shit up, right? Curious if it will peg EICOSA and PICOSA. Yeah, the cool thing about iBurn is that because you can mint it, it doesn't matter if you use EICOSA or PICOSA. They still both count as one ICOSA.
Coffee to pickup artist.
No, I'm definitely not a pickup artist. I do not. What do you think?
Do you have a
about
reputation
the whole PUA?
Do you have a reputation in Puerto Rico now?
Dude, I've only been here like 5 months. No way.
Dude, that's way too much time to do damage.
I hope I don't have a reputation, but I know one girl doesn't talk to me anymore, but that's all right. It's a small island though. It's a small island. Let's see. Yeah, so back to the EICOSA PICOSA thing. They're reaching close to parity because you can mint one iBurn regardless of whether you use EICOSA or PICOSA. So a lot of people have just been buying up the EICOSA because it's cheaper. So I've done this actually the other day. I bought a bunch of EICOSA because it's like 40% cheaper than PICOSA, but it might bring them to parity, and it might be an example of how to bring coins to parity, right? Like if this works for iBurn, like for EICOSA, PICOSA, what if it works for other coins? You could drop the same simple code onto other coins and have like a burn arbitrage contract with them, and then maybe peg them together. So just a thought, guys, just a thought. Crypto Khalil, I'm a Scorpio. We don't match. Ew, dude.
I'm supposed to be a hot match with Scorpios.
This is an astrology channel now. If iBurn helps restart the HSIs. Yeah, so this cool thing about iBurn, and I'm only talking about it so much because it's launching today, so it's really catching my attention. But another way people get ICOSA is they stake a bunch of hex, they burn the hex stake in an HSI auction, and they get rewarded ICOSA for that. So after parity is reached on EICOSA, PICOSA, maybe there's like a parity solution to be, or maybe there's an underpricing in the EHEX price. Maybe people will buy a bunch of EHEX, stake that, and just burn it, give it away for ICOSA. I don't know. It depends how complex people want to get, right?
Oh, they're going to get real complex, man.
Yeah.
I
mean, dude, people love it, right? Some people just want the meme coin, dick with butt number go up. Hey, that's cool too. Some people like to dig under the hood. I think you're one of those people for sure. You just
a bit.
Going down rabbit holes and conspiracy theories. I'm all here for it. Like, it's all good for PulseChain at the end of the day. It keeps people talking, keeps people staying here, and it keeps this whirlpool of attention. It keeps sucking new people in. Yeah.
No, it's going on, man. It's going on. Like, a lot of people really freaked out after the Hex, EHEX, PHEX, all that. But, you know, Richard always talked about delayed gratification. And I think
That's what works.
yeah. Because, you know, during that 2022 period, 2023, I could definitely tell or would know for sure that I think the toughest thing psychologically to handle is any kind of, you know, loyalty issues, distrust, betrayal. They're the hardest things to absorb, you know? And a lot of people EES'd, right? Who said they wouldn't, right? And I think we'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't think that affected people, you know, and the hard man. And I think those people, though, are going to be...
I call him the Gucci man sometimes.
Call him the Gucci man?
Yeah.
The Prada man, not the Prada man. They're going to be shocked at the kind of numbers I think Hex is going to do in the future. Like, you think you got a good deal by EESing in 2021 or 2022. Well, people that are hanging on for the ride, that's where the real gains are going to be. I have no doubt about it. You know, because I think looking at what's happening with PDI, with incentive, with some of the other elements happening behind the scene that I have no doubt he knows about, he's looking to reward loyalty and people involved in a different way than he did before. He's rethinking it. He's rethought incentive structures and in the game theory. Does that make sense?
That's what I'd be thinking about right now. That's exactly. Yeah. That's probably, he's like, okay, how do we reward the long-term holders or the true believers? One thing you could do is you could just pump INC token. That would have a trickle down effect to everything else.
People who are working, sure, and we are being rewarded. Yeah. I have a funny story about INC actually, because I learned my brutal lessons farming on Pulse. Like, I started farming because, you know, we bought in and then everything dumped. Yeah. It was like June or something like that, right? So I'm like, okay, great. I don't know. Is it another 2 years? I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm like, okay, what do I have to lose at this point? Let me try this farming thing. I know impermanent loss, I don't know shit about it, but you can screw it up really bad. So I did the pool of incentive Pulse and then incentive and Pulse X, because I had bought all three of the tokens when everything came out. Okay. I just bought all three because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I had sacked as well. So summer started and I didn't pay a lot of attention and the price of ink kept dumping. Okay. And then when I came and I checked the farm, I got a brutal reality check about impermanent loss. I had lost a large amount of my Pulse and Pulse X, but my incentive bag had gone up like enormously because it dropped so hard. And then I just said, at first I was like, oh shit, I don't know what I did. It wasn't all my thing, but I'd put a good amount in there. And then as the summer came to an end and prices reversed and ink went up, I went, oh, I think I got lucky there. You know, so impermanent loss is real. You got to learn, but sometimes it works in your favor. And so I ended up with a lot of ink actually, and I'm still farming. They're doing great. I highly recommend everyone get in the farms, earn that ink. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, at least learn how to do it. Learn that you're going to have different balances fluctuating of both coins. Yeah. Ink definitely shot back the hardest. PLXX shot up pretty hard too, just because they were the most crushed, right? So they're the most elastic on the way back up.
Yes.
But I was so relieved. Go ahead.
No. I watched your video before I did my farm. I remember watching your video. It was like June or something.
Nice. Yeah. I'll make a new yield farm video every now and then, just because people like, it's great yield, dude. It's like 43% APY.
It's great. Yeah.
But don't pass up on that. And if you look at the ratio between Pulse X and INC,
yeah,
I recently entered that farm and I got lucky because like the day I entered that farm, it just started flatlining. The ratio just started flatlining. So let me pull up a deck screener chart.
So you're actively farming right now?
Yeah, I'm actively well, I have been farming this whole time, but I recently entered the INC PLSX farm, just kind of on a hunch, okay, right? But I saw that the price of INC went up relative to Pulse X, but you know, the ideal ratio when you're yield farming is you want the ratio of the two coins to be flat. Now, in reality, that never happens. In reality, it's never flat, but you want it to be lower volatility and high volume. And that's exactly, yeah.
Yes and no. You know, as I'm becoming more experienced with farming, you can use it to work in your favor as well, depending on what's going on,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like
that's more advanced strategy, but yeah.
in my situation over the summer, because ink had plummeted so much, those pools shifted so heavily. So I ended up with an enormous amount of ink, and I closed them on the way up. I'd already lost a little bit on the move, but you can, if you see that coming, you can play with that. Okay, look, chat, who's there? Who wants to hear about the token theories on Pulse, PulseX, Ink, and Hex?
Dude, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't have a huge track record, but it seems like ink could be the most volatile. Of course, makes sense because you farm it. People are going to sell it. If I need money, I'll sell my farm. You know, I'm constantly farming. But it might move the hardest too. So you need to know where you are in position to that. Now, what's interesting is the PulseX burn, I think, slows down its drawdown. Have you noticed that?
When the price of PulseX goes up, it slows down the burns less.
The burn slows down, which is fine. But notice it didn't dump as hard in percentages.
What do you mean? Wait, when the price of PulseX goes down, it doesn't dump.
So,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't. The moves to the downside aren't as brutal as, let's say, incentive.
Well, it's already down 75%, you know, so that's...
And Pulse is down. If you go to the high it hit, it's down 82%. Let's see. Now this is I'm theorizing moving into the future as the burn, because the burn is accelerating now. Everybody gets that, right? So the price is down, the burn is accelerating, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm theorizing that in the future, PulseX may not have as hard a drawdown. Okay, the drawdown's about the same right now as Pulse, but the drawdown may not be as hard in the future as, let's say, incentive token. So, you know, it could be interesting to see how that plays out. Now we see Hex swings very volatilely. There's no doubt about that. And that's not a bad thing if you're staked for long term. If you're trading in and out, it could be a big issue. What did incentive obviously did the biggest drawdown by far.
Hold on a second.
We're 99% down from the high on ink, okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, what was it, $80 at the top?
It was $80 at the top.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I want to show you guys this screen though right here, because this is the PLS INC pair, and this is what I mean when I said it flatlined recently, right?
Oh.
This is the INC ratio. Look how it just kind of like scooped down, dipped back up to almost where the very beginning price candle was. And I just had a hunch right when it hit that price candle. I'm like, this might be the mean reversion point right now. So not only was it the mean reversion point, but it just kind of like went sideways. Like I would expect it to go like a sine wave up and down below this line, up, you know, above and below the red line, the red horizontal line. But it's just weird how that just happened. Here. So for me, because I entered my position at the yellow line here, I want to be able to pull it out at that yellow line at some point in the future. Seems like a pretty good time to start farming this one. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. I see what you're saying. So yeah, this is a cool strategy. So, you know, this pool I think is paying like what, 54%. And you're right. If it stays stable, yeah.
I mean, it's just a money printer at that point.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, so impermanent loss pretty mitigated on this one. I don't know about PLS. I guess I could figure that out real quick. Let me see.
So what I think could be that the burn is just incredible on PulseX. Okay, much more dramatic than I think I expected, and people may be they may not dump it as fast later. So I'm speculating the drawdown for PulseX could be less than incentive for sure, and maybe even less than Pulse.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends. I think people will sell their INC before they sell their other stuff.
Yes, yeah. So that's going to be the most volatile. I think that's for sure right now.
This is INC versus Pulse in PLS terms. So
INC versus
similar chart, a little bit more volatility, but not much. I mean, we've had a month of stagnation almost. Not in the price, but well, kind of in the price too. The price has just been going down, dumping for 2 months. But hey, reversal. What do you think?
By looking at the INC pulse chart, or are you just saying in general?
Do you think
Looking
there's
at
a
the
reversal
pulse?
in general in like the whole blue chip Pulse X hex?
Okay, we are at this trend line. We're touching it. We're hanging out. I did a video where I said I think we may go sideways for a little bit. We're in that liquidity pool. We did. Oh, we dropped. Yeah, we've retested. Yeah, we've retested. We're retesting the that resistance, that old support, and I mean technically we could be down here for a little bit, and going sideways isn't that bad a thing for us.
Yeah. Typically after the halving events, I mean, prices they don't just skyrocket up immediately. There's like a gearing up. You know, the parabola needs some time, and typically also altcoin dominance doesn't drop until, or sorry, Bitcoin dominance doesn't drop until about 6 months after the halving. So.
Okay, so yeah, here's what I see. So you got a week on the weekly or on the red on the super trend, guys. You have done a retest of that old support. Okay, that was at 0.00006, and you've been rejected there. You've made a higher high, but a lower high. You haven't pumped up as high as you did on that retest. So I would think you're going to probably do a retest once again of 0.000052. Okay, and hopefully just go sideways in this range. Okay. And the lowest I have on my chart is 0.000046 is a possibility to touch down. 0.000045. Okay. But we may just go sideways. And you got to keep in mind too, like there's a lot happening in the broader markets. And you know, the Heartman, he's got to play ball, you know, where we're not fighting the planet, you know, or World War III or any of these elements that they're going to use to manipulate price, right? And if we look at what people have talked about, can we get into the cycle? Can we talk about cycle? Do we have time?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Okay, so you know everyone knows now about the left translated cycle, right? We started early. We already hit made a new high before the halving, which has never happened before. There's speculation that this bull run terminates in around the election. Okay, which would be a very fast cycle. Okay, and they're calling it a left translated cycle. All right, now that's a possibility, but a lot of people seem to know about it already. And we already hit a all-time high already. I think we go up and we hit another peak again, maybe 75, 80K, another double top. But does that happen now? It's very possible, because it's possible, yeah, we could have a left translated cycle, but it's very possible we have a double cycle. Okay. Now,
well, in other words, like I think it's more of like an extended cycle,
or an extended cycle, however you want to look at it. So we do our thing, and then there's some delay, either through the election or you know this war crap, or who knows what they want to do to us this time, right? Maybe more zombies, maybe it's the aliens, and then maybe everyone thinks the cycle's over. Everyone thinks, okay, that was what we got, and now we have to wait for 2028, right? But then I think maybe they kick it in gear and we have like a run. So it's either going to feel like an early cycle for the next one, or a delayed or extended cycle, continuation. And I'm just thinking that could be a very possible thing. And we have to understand that we may get some pumps, but if people that are smarter than us feel like where there's going to be a delay, it wouldn't make sense to let this run yet. It would really hurt us, you know? So we should be ready for a left translated cycle. We should be ready for a fast cycle, and we should be ready for an extended or delayed cycle. We kind of have to be ready for a lot of possibilities.
That's true. I mean, yeah, you got to think about all the scenarios. I don't think left translated cycle. I really do think we're in a different paradigm now. So I know
agree.
It's like the 4-year cycle has always worked in the past, but it's always going to work until the one time it doesn't, What's different now is you've got institutional money in, you've got Bitcoin ETF money inflowing in, you've got the Ethereum ETF money coming in August. And then the reason I don't think it's just going to stop by election time is because if we get a new person elected that's actually pro crypto, right? Fingers crossed. Like, geez, I mean, we've been getting crushed out here in the USA by terrible American policy, but that would be a game changer as well. War, as much as it's terrible and awful, it's usually stimulating for the economy as long as the USA continues to fight a proxy war like it's been doing.
You got to be ready for surprises. You got to be ready for a surprise, because we had the pre-halving all-time high. Never happened before. And like you're saying, new paradigm. You should be ready for that. That we may have a lot of surprises coming, even more, to match.
Expect the unexpected, for sure.
You should expect the unexpected, and position yourself accordingly.
There was this guy that figured out this cycle in macro called the liquidity cycle. So it's a 65-month cycle where basically the country, all the companies have a lot of liquidity, meaning cash reserves and stuff like that, and then very little liquidity. And they looked at it during the last Bitcoin bull run. The 65-month liquidity cycle lined up perfectly with the top of the Bitcoin price at $65,000.
Oh, and I've seen that. The
I tweeted about it. Yeah, I retweeted some other guy. And so if he's right about that, we're just getting started, and that puts the top of the next cycle actually in 2026. So
the top of the next part of this cycle. You mean?
Yeah, right.
And that's what I'm siding to more. And that's what I meant by extended or a delayed or double cycle. Yeah, I do think maybe we have this pause, something, and then it actually runs, and we have this peak 2026. That's what I'm thinking, because everyone just seems to know about the left translated cycle. So I'm already thinking it's not going to play out like that. We got a big surprise, something coming.
Dude, I just got the weirdest comment. I don't know if this is the same guy that told me I looked like Dennis Rodman earlier.
Mike Tyson. What the?
Are you just saying I look white?
Because, Chat, what's wrong with you?
I'm probably
we got to start holding Chat accountable.
Farthest thing from Mike Tyson as you could humanly possible.
Crypto coffee. Trying to get a rise out of you.
Yeah, no, It's hilarious. It's like, I heard Dennis Rodman last time. I feel like this is the same guy. Like,
oh yeah. Maybe he's a Scorpio.
We're not compatible, bro. Antonio, we're not compatible.
You got to throw Chat, throw him out. We're not compatible with that guy. Hey kids, get your glasses script checked.
Antonio, yeah, right, exactly. Ovidon says, mathematically, what can the price be for PulseX by the halvening? You don't really even need mathematics, dude. Like, it's just buy pressure, insane buy pressure. Yeah, we'd burn a lot by then. PLSX could be at $1 by 2028. Or no, let's say 10 cents by 2028. I wouldn't be surprised to see it in the whole number of cents. But like mathematically, like what does that mean? Like I don't have a mathematical formula to say like, well, I guess okay, if you could calculate the number of millions of dollars that would have to come in. If we're roughly saying, $400 million would 100x the Pulse price.
Yeah.
And PulseX would go up along for the ride. I think by 2028, hopefully there's going to be more than $400 million more liquidity injected into this ecosystem as it matures, like Ethereum does, like Ethereum did. I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to see at least 100x higher prices by 2028. But like I don't know, dude. Like
4 more years.
4 more years, right?
If you guys are not ready for 4 more years, you need to move on.
We're playing the long game, guys. Some people don't get it. And yeah, if you need the stimulation, there's plenty of meme coins and gambling stuff you could do. But don't bet your whole stack on it. Take your core positions and don't give them up to short-term gains. Because, I mean, you never know. You might miss out. Like, you might win on a couple meme coins and then get confident. And this happens to me from time to time. And then I'm like, oh, I'm such a great trader, blah, blah, blah. I double down and I buy the wrong thing at the wrong time. And then I'm just right back to square one. I'm like, God damn it, this was all a waste. So that's shiny object syndrome in a nutshell.
Shiny object syndrome.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I got a little dopamine hit here. I made a 5x here, I made a 10x here. And then like the next one, you go all in, not all in, but you put too much in. It's about capital preservation partially too, wealth preservation, just not losing everything.
Let's Mission Impossible is new to PulseChain, having trouble with MetaMask, taking profits. He feels stupid. Somebody help him out. Somebody help out Mission Impossible.
All right, let's see.
Or maybe he needs to go watch a MetaMask video. I know you have a MetaMask video, Coffee, for sure you do.
Yeah. Look, if you want to take profits, just sell the coins for like a stable coin, like bridge them back across to Ethereum, send the stable coins back to your centralized account, Coinbase, and then the money goes back to your bank account. If you've got profits, that's how you just go back out the way you came in from the bridge. So you can watch old videos. He's saying I had
such a wide
9
range of needs in chat. Antonio's freaking out, man. He's like, I'm Sagittarius, bro. We're max compatible. Okay.
I don't know, man. Fire and fire.
Somebody help him out.
Fire and fire is dangerous, dude. We're only going to hurt each other, Antonio. Even though the
lights out.
100x is true. Well, here's the thing about 2028. Like that could be the bottom of this cycle, of the next, this current cycle.
It could be.
But look at it. Yeah. Hex, even at Hex's bottom, was still about 100x above the bottom of its low. I mean, sorry, Hex at the bottom of this current cycle at 1 penny, it's still up about 100x from people that got in super early.
Yeah. But it was supposed to be a bear market hedge, man.
Time will tell. If we do get Hex at $1, it definitely wasn't a bear market hedge. I'll say that.
No,
it did not outperform in the bear market. That's one of the narratives that we feel probably the most humbled by, at least myself. Right. I feel sorry for the guys that ape into every new ticker. You can't beat the bots.
You can't beat the bots. That's straight up.
With these new coins, if you're not in the first couple hours, a lot of times, like they'll be like, "Oh, this coin went up, 100x." But yeah, that's 100x. But how many people bought in that first 15-minute candle? Like 20?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but good for those people, right? If you are one of those people, like you can do that. But that's why I pass on a lot of meme coins, like because I already feel like I'm too late, and I'm just like, well, I'll buy it if it dips 90%. But at this point, if it already went up 50x, like I'm not buying that.
Okay, you guys want to outrun the bots? Chat sounds like they're eager. Here's what you do. The Atropa, a lot of the projects, they come out on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Okay, I'm on CET, so that would be literally the middle of the night for you guys. And I think they do that on purpose, so that it's like about as fair launch. So if you guys get up early or stay up all night on Friday night or Saturday night, just devote a weekend, I bet you can grab some stuff. Yeah. That's when a lot of those ones launch.
Saturday night?
Middle of the night. Yep.
Yeah, because everyone's out drinking.
My entry on BFF was $90, and I was just here middle of the night. I think it was like Saturday. I was really dorking out, man. I just was not. So I was just obsessed in PulseChain stuff, man. And I just caught it. And then the next weekend I hung around, and there were some other tickers that came out under Atropa around the same time. I don't remember. It was like ZZEC or something. Same time. It was like the middle of the night. It was some random time. Like
you bought BFF like when it was 10 pulse. I'm going to show people the BFF chart, just so you know.
Okay. Yeah, show them the BFF, because that's a cool meme. That's going to do well.
All right. Whatever you say, bro. But look at this. Is one of those Atropa coins that like has...
You're skeptical.
I'm skeptical of everything, but look at this chart. Good. Like if you bought in this first 2 months, dang, dude, you did incredibly well. This is actually pretty amazing.
Yeah. And this is probably the third leg up. So you're going to have your next wave is going to be massive going up. So beautiful consolidation.
Did you really make like 400x on this?
Yeah, I remember that day. I remember it was the first IRC token I bought out of the chat. The Atropa one I bought. And it was like 89 or 90 bucks. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what this world is. Who's Maria or hell? What is this world? But I was up all night long, and and I just was lucky. It was just there when it came out. I was like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah, look, I hope everybody has a story like that on PulseChain. But
I want you guys to have stories like that. You should, and now's the time. Just be, you got to sacrifice. You got to do a sleepover.
Lights out is jealous. Dude, I didn't even hear about this thing because there's so many of these coins with like the weird symbols and shit.
Yeah, there are. I picked up a couple of those.
So this is Atropa for sure then. It's the Atropa ecosystem, right? They're the only ones that do this symbol stuff.
Yeah.
Damn. You had like 2 months to buy it down here.
What was the price down there?
I mean, in Pulse terms, it was like 6 Pulse, 10 Pulse, and then it went up to 7,000 Pulse.
That's awesome.
That's insane. I see why you like Atropa now. It all makes sense now.
Well, it whet my appetite. I was like, I had been obsessed for weeks and up all night on the weekends, and then I caught that. And then the next weekend, I just stayed all night and I caught Zizek. And then I'm like, okay, these guys are dropping these at like Saturday mornings or Sunday morning. I don't remember which one it was. And in the middle of the night, and I was catching them. And, it's cool. But yeah. No, but they're genuinely doing cool stuff. Coffee, you got to check it out, man.
I mean, look, you can't argue with that green candle.
You can't argue with green candles anywhere, man.
Look at that thing. It's incredible.
Hard as a rock.
RG3 is here. What's up, RG3? Say hard as a rock.
What's up?
RG3 is here to show iBurn.
It's not that kind of chat, guys. Okay. Don't.
Well, yeah, guys. We talked about iBurn earlier. I'm probably going to join into it. I'm probably going to burn some of my Icosa for it. We'll see what happens. I hope, because here, let me show you. While we're talking about crazy green candle charts, let me show you guys GIF. 181K liquidity. That previous token, by the way, it did have like 280K liquidity, so not terrible either. Pretty good.
GIF, yeah.
But this GIF one is 180K, and in the God damn it, I wish I bought it a week ago.
I mean, that's a kind of ratio for serious fundamentals. 20 million market cap, 200,000 liquidity. Yeah.
This is a log chart, so you could see all the time back here you could have bought it for 2 months here. But I didn't even hear about it till maybe mid-April, and then I was just like, I don't want to. I was just so burnt out. I was like, I don't want to learn about another ecosystem right now.
Right? I get burned out like that too sometimes, man. I'm like,
yeah,
come on, man.
And I'm kicking myself because I should have, because, Larry calls me up and he's like, hey, check this thing out. And I'm like, dude, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired, man. But yeah, and if something similar like this happens with iBurn, who knows?
It's very possible.
RG, I fucking told you. Thanks, bro. Yeah, RG did tell me as well.
Did he?
He tells me a lot of things, so take it with a grain of salt.
See, you're too skeptical. That's what we've.
I have made my decisions on the core coins. I know that being too open-minded gets me into trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
But I gotta stay open-minded enough to at least like consider all this stuff. But then there's information overload.
There is. We need a token. No more tokens. An MT.
No burnout. This is gonna ratchet. All right, RG. RG's locked in. RG's got.
he's convinced. He's not skeptical at all, is he?
No. All right, dude. Well, I'll roll the dice on RG's coin, perhaps.
This is gonna ratchet. I don't know how I feel about that.
You got me in some dark alleys, my nephew. What dark alleys did I get you into, RG? We got ourselves into the Hex Alley. All right, let's see. GIF has no marketing, cap supply, designed to reward long-term holders, stealth fair launch. Is iBurn considered a stealth launch? I mean, I'm telling people about it, so it's not that stealthy. But yeah, GIF was a stealth launch, yes.
So GIF, but what's the other one that's coming out today?
So iBurn is coming out today, but when
iBurn.
people mint iBurn, some of the PLS that is used to mint iBurn goes to buy and burn the PGIF token, and PGIF is locked to GIF, and you can arbitrage them down when the price difference goes too far apart.
Got you. When's it coming out? Is there a time?
Well, iBurn comes out today at some point, so I don't know if there's any advantage to being like early in the first hour or minute, but I'll try to get in today. I don't know. It's for those Icosa guys too, for the Hedron ecosystem, which is already like game theory on top of Hex.
Yeah.
Just adding a new thing, new games to play. Stealth. If you consider a stealth launch whenever Gifford wants to tell people, yes, yeah. I guess you're right. Launch today's in quotes. Yeah, like there's no guarantee. It might not be today, but what RG said is just have Icosa and Pulse ready. So I've already got that. I've already unstaked my Icosa. I bought a bunch of Icosa with it because the gap is still. Yeah, let's show you guys something.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's still a gap. Yep, Icosa is still cheaper than Icosa, and they've both been shooting up lately, pretty much solely because of this, I would say. Now, that's only a little bit of a pump lately, but yeah, people are buying it up, clearly.
You're on the daily?
Yeah. And just so people know, this is Icosa. Icosa is 9 cents. Icosa is 11 cents. So get a bit of a deal. And it doesn't matter which Icosa you use. You could use both of them to mint iBurn. So a little shameless shill for my own interests.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. It's a leverage play on Hex. So, Hex ain't going to be down forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Coffee. Are you care to tell us about these dark alleys, nephew?
I'm not actually, we're not actually
uncle?
related.
Do you call him uncle?
I called him uncle like jokingly back in the day.
Uh-huh.
I was like, he's my crazy crypto uncle. And then people are like, you guys actually related? It's like, no, dude. It's like, how many cousins do you have that like aren't really your cousins? Maybe that's not like a thing everybody does. But
Is that a trick question?
no, it's like someone, you're just like a friend or whatever. But it's like you're a cousin.
My cousin, yeah.
We're not literally related, so.
They're not related.
Although in height, we're pretty similar, so. Let's see. I never touched Icosa since staking. This is a good reason. Yeah, exactly. This woke up my Icosa bags off of the staking. My Icosa bags rise from the dead. Can I have a wrench, Crypto Steve? Yeah, I mean, you want to get rid of this guy? Yeah. Crypto Steve. Let me go to the YouTube channel. Well, we're coming up on like an hour and a half. Is there anything else you want people to know about?
Wow, we talked about a lot of stuff. Hex, Pulse, ratio, Pulse X. We talked about it. Chad, you guys have questions? Something we didn't cover? What's something we want to talk about? You're a musician, aren't you? You got music? What, you got a piano? What's that?
I got a guitar back there. I had a piano at my old place. I haven't been able to buy a new one, but yeah, been playing piano since I was like 5, 7 maybe. So I took lessons from a classical like Korean piano teacher. Guitar I just picked up like when I was in high school, and I've just been kind of messing around. I'm not like great at either, but what about you? You play stuff?
Yeah, I play guitar, keyboards.
Sweet.
I built a guitar.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's see it.
I just have it in my studio, or can you see it?
Yeah, that studio looks nice.
It's oh, it's autofocus. How
I
do
can kind of
focus?
see it.
It's a Jazz Master I built with Warmouth parts. I was living in California. I don't know if Warmouth is still around in Washington. Anybody know? Put some Seymour Duncan vintage pickups in there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right.
Built it a long time ago when I used to have time on my hands. I wasn't in crypto.
Yeah. Crypto definitely takes over your life for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, chat, if you guys have questions, anything else you want to know about stuff we talked about, please keep the cousins and uncles and all that out of it. Whatever you guys want to know. But yeah, I think one thing I want to say is just, yeah, be ready. I think when this thing takes off, it's going to be insane. It's going to not give you a lot of warning. So accumulate while you can. Because of how everything is so connected. And also another thing, if you start to really dig on chain, and this is tough because we see, where the ETH go and everyone has an idea of how much, ammo there is to pump. But I think it's about 8 times what we think it is. The
What do you
amount
mean?
that could pump.
Oh yeah, because you got to include FOMO buying.
Well, no, I literally think the artillery that the Heartman has is about 7x more than we think it is.
Oh, so you didn't think he's got more? Well, I mean, he's got so much Bitcoin. People don't realize that.
There's a lot. There's some evidence that there's way more than we think that's going to slide in. And you combine that with what you said about there's literally people with millions of dollars just waiting to slide in here.
Yeah.
Really, there are. And, these are big players. They're looking at the market. They're looking at what other big players are doing. But when they move, it's going to move fast. And you combine that with what I think Richard or the Heartman actually has, which I think is about 7 times more than we think. You've never seen green candles like you're going to see.
Beautiful words. It's music to my ears. Please keep the hopium alive because whales, they can come quick, dude. They're sidelined. Everyone's got their eyes on PulseChain, and it's also, you got to think Richard's probably got some rich friends as well. People in high places following
rich
him.
cousins. Got some rich cousins. He
Rich
might have
uncles.
a rich uncle. Yeah.
You got to have a rich uncle, dude. That's key number 1.
Yeah.
You want to make it in this world? Rich uncle.
That's right.
All right, let's see. I was told
Cool,
there'd be
man.
PulseX Lambos. I don't know where you heard that. I'm not buying a Lambo, even if we do go to the moon. The thing would be wrecked. I would just drive that one time on the streets of Puerto Rico. It'd be destroyed. His brother. Yeah, don't underestimate Richard's brother, guys.
But yeah, man, I can't tell you how much it was a pleasure to be on stream with you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me, man. This is a really cool chat.
Yeah, just shooting the shit. Guys, there's so much going on. Listen to St. Wolf. Go subscribe at St. Wolf Crypto on YouTube, at St. Wolf 369 on Twitter. You might find out about some stuff that you're not going to find out about from me because we've all got our eyes on different stuff. You need to diversify who you listen to.
I have some streams where I would go in the IRC chat, and you can see just a small glimpse of what I would do for hours, at night, and kind of you can see what I was looking at and then decide if you want to start digging in there yourself. I think you'll definitely learn stuff. If anything, maybe they do drop tokens in there that are coming out as well. So there's definitely alpha in there. But PulseChain is way more than just a layer 1. And I think when this runs, you guys will begin to really see what's happening. It's a whole entire universe that's being created. Yeah.
Crazy stuff going on. Don't sleep on it. Like and subscribe. Follow
Yeah.
St. Wolf. See you on the next one.
See you guys later.